SuperTalk Mississippi media production. It's time to talk about dogs.
Bulldogs have won it.
Talkin Dawgs, that is, with Robbie Faulk, right here on SuperTalk 100.9.
Talkin Dawgs is on your radio on this beautiful Wednesday morning in Starkville, Mississippi. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me again. This is Robbie Faulk here on SuperTalk 100.9, SuperTalk.fm, SuperTalk app. Thank you guys for tuning in for yet another episode, bringing you Mississippi State sports talk and high school around the Golden Triangle through the Starkville Daily News. And I'm also with Maroon and White Daily at On3 Sports. And I want to remind you, too, about the Thunder and Lightning podcast here on Super Talk with myself and Brian Haydad 5 days a week, bringing you Mississippi State sports talk right to your phone, tablet, or computer. Thank you guys for all your support for this show each and every week. I'm excited for another day talking some Mississippi State sports. And how about it, folks? Since we started this podcast / radio show, I have to remind myself I'm on the radio as well. Since we started the show, Mississippi State football is 4-0. That's no coincidence, I don't think. I think that this show has brought the best out of Jeff Lebby and his group. I'm going to take full responsibility for that. And if they go on some kind of losing streak, I guess you can blame me for that too. I've jinxed them. But what a start for Mississippi State and Jeff Lebby. He talked this week about the goals that this team has had. And one of those goals, the first goal obviously being bowl eligible this year. The second goal was winning all 4 of their non-conference games. And to get that first goal, you had to do that. It really felt like starting 4-0 was the best case scenario for Mississippi State. That sounds silly to say. Obviously, 4-0 is the best case scenario. But for Mississippi State to get to that bowl eligibility, 4-0 felt like what had to happen. With the SEC schedule being what it is, arguably the toughest schedule in the conference, right there with Florida. With that SEC schedule being what it is, 4-0 in non-conference play almost was a given for Mississippi State to get to bowl eligibility. 3 SEC wins, say if you were 3-1 in non-conference play, that's a stretch. You have 4 playoff teams from last year on this schedule. You had several teams from the top 25, I think 7 teams preseason top 25 on this schedule. Well, Mississippi State's gotten through one of those playoff teams from last year with a win against Arizona State. You got another one this week against Tennessee. And if the Bulldogs are able to get to 5-0 this week, man, I think that if you're a Mississippi State fan, you can just about begin to start making your plans for December or early January for a bowl game, because it's hard to imagine this team getting that kind of win, another monster top 15 win, and not finding a way to grab one more. But at that point, if you're a Mississippi State fan, you're looking beyond just 6-6. I think the entire landscape of Mississippi State's schedule changes, and your thought process completely changes. You go from thinking, let's just try to get bowl eligible, to how can we get more wins? How can we fight our way into the conversation to get into the playoff? That's how big this game is on Saturday for Mississippi State. And if they're able to get it, you're talking about taking off as a program. The entire narrative around this team changes. I think it changed in a big way after the Arizona State win. Think about where it could get next week if Mississippi State finds a way to win on Saturday at Davis-Wade Stadium. Another great atmosphere on the horizon, another big challenge for Jeff Lebby and crew, and they are ready to take it head on. We're going to talk about that a lot over the next couple of segments. I'm going to have some thoughts from Jeff Lebby coming your way after the break. We're going to talk about Blake Shapen. We're going to talk about what Mississippi State has to do to find a way to win on Saturday against Tennessee. And then we'll start talking a little bit of high school football. I got some things to say about Starkville and Louisville, what I saw last week for the Yellow Jackets and the Wildcats in a big-time matchup over at Yellow Jacket Stadium. We have a full show for you, loaded down with football talk, and I'm so excited to bring it your way. So when we come back, we will dive into Mississippi State football and their matchup with Tennessee coming your way. This is Talkin Dawgs on Super Talk 100.9.
At Bank Oklahoma, we treat our customers like neighbors, and usually they are. You're more than just an account number. At Bank Oklahoma, you have a name, a family, and hopes and dreams for your financial future. I'm Hunter Robertson at Bank Oklahoma in Bruce. We'd love to earn your business and help you reach your financial goals. Come see me or call 662-983-3700. Bank Oklahoma, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Looking for quality and convenience? Matheson Hardware and Building Supply has you covered. We deliver lumber, roofing, doors, windows, and more straight to your job site. And check out our full line of Milwaukee battery-powered tools, plus plumbing, electrical, and Valspar paints for every project. And now we're your local source for guns, ammo, and so much more. For over 100 years, Matheson Hardware has been built on a legacy of customer service you can trust. Go find them at 281 Scott Avenue in Matheson, Mississippi, or call them today at 662-263-4583.
Power up your convenience with the 4County mobile app. Managing your electric account has never been easier. With our free mobile app, you can view your bill, balance, and account details, report outages, track restoration progress, and make secure payments online. Stay informed by scheduling alerts and reminders for important account updates. Whether you're at home or on the go, the 4County app puts control in your hands. Download the app today and experience the power of convenience.
Hey, this is William Wells. When you drop your vehicle off with us, you can trust us with our ASC certified technician. We'll take care of everything you need. Brakes, struts, shocks, alignments, check engine light, tune-up, tire sensor, tires, everything. Stop by any of our 3 locations in Starkville, West Point, and Columbus, and let our team give you the championship service you deserve.
Hello, I'm Lee Burrell, proudly serving Oktibbeha County. The Citizens Bank has been serving our community for over 116 years, and I'm proud to be part of this vital community bank. With over 22 years of financial experience in commercial, mortgage, and consumer lending, I'm here to help with all your loan and deposit needs. Call me at 662-323-1420 or stop by my office located at 201 Highway 12 and say hello. I'm looking forward to meeting and talking with you soon. The Citizens Bank, www.thecitizensvilla.com, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
You're listening to Talkin Dawgs on SuperTalk 100.9.
Welcome back to Talkin Dawgs with Robbie Faulk here on SuperTalk 100.9, also on the SuperTalk app and supertalk.fm. And I want to remind you, too, you can go find this anywhere you get podcasts. If you go type in Talkin Dawgs with Robbie Faulk on your podcast app, I think that'll get you there. Go in there and click follow. Give me a nice review. Give me a 5-star rating. I would certainly appreciate that. But we have tons of places that you can listen to the show. If you miss it on the radio, if you don't get a chance to hear all of it, you can go back and listen to it on your app. You can go to supertalk.fm. You can find this show and you can listen to it there as well. We are very well-rounded at SuperTalk, and that's what I'm so appreciative of. We make it possible for you to listen to this anywhere in the country, anywhere that you are at any point in the day. So you can check it out today. Also, we have a YouTube that you can go listen to this podcast on YouTube as well. So go do that. Every single week, we are sponsored by Alpha Insurance agent Jess Brantley and his crew over there in West Point. Thank you, Jess and company, for being a part of this broadcast every week, for supporting us here and for supporting local high school sports, Mississippi State, and everything in the area. They are your hometown insurance agency. You got to go check them out. Not only do they support the show and they support high school sports and they support the kids in the area, they support each and every one of you. When you sign up with Jess Brantley over there at Alpha Insurance, you're getting someone that's going to be there for you 24 hours a day, taking care of you in your time of need. Homeowners insurance, life insurance policies, car insurance, they're there for you at any point in the day when things go awry, when things are going bad. These are the people that are going to be there for you. You have a lot of people in your life when these things happen, your pastor, your family members, a doctor, something like that. I feel like the insurance agencies are a part of that group as well. They're there to take care of you because that stuff can be very troubling. That's the last thing that you want to think about when you're having something horrible happen, whether to a family member or a loved one or to your house or your car. These people are there for you. So go check out Jess Brantley over there. Start saving the day with Alpha Insurance. You can find him at 36 South 4th Street in West Point, or call him today at 662-494-4142. Start saving the day with Alpha Insurance. All right, guys, let's start talking a little bit about this matchup, Mississippi State and Tennessee coming up. Tennessee on the season 3-1, Mississippi State 4-0. The Vols have already played an SEC ball game. You guys remember it, against Georgia just a couple of weeks ago, driving down the field with a chance to go win the ball game, and the field goal is a miss. And we saw the Surrender Cobras in the crowd. We saw the Vol fans. We saw their faces. And I looked over at Brian Haydad in the press box when that happened. I told him there is no way they are winning the game after that. I've seen that movie before, and it happened exactly like that. Georgia rips their heart out and steals one away from them in Neyland Stadium, and that was a difficult pill to swallow for the Vols, but they're right back on their horse here. This is one of the most dangerous offenses in the country under Josh Heupel, and he and Jeff Lebby know each other extremely well. As we know, they go back to their time at Oklahoma when Jeff Lebby was coming up. Of course, Lebby was going to play football for Oklahoma. An injury ended that opportunity, but he stepped right into becoming a coach. He was a student assistant on that staff for Bob Stoops in the early 2000s. It was right after Josh Heupel had left and they had won a national championship, but Heupel comes back as a graduate assistant. That's where they first cross paths. And those two eventually, they get together at Central Florida when Heupel takes the job over there. Lebby becomes his quarterback coach, eventually his offensive coordinator. And that is where Lebby really started to learn how to become a head coach. He learned a lot from Art Briles, obviously, but also he learned a lot on how to run a program by Josh Heupel and the day-to-day operations that he saw there with Heupel. So I want to take you into a little bit of that with Jeff Lebby's presser from Monday. He talks some about that relationship that he has with Heupel. He talks some about what Mississippi State has to do this week as well. Some conversation in there about the Bulldogs in the trenches, Blake Shapen this week. Also, a lot of good stuff coming your way. Let's hear from Jeff Lebby and just a little clip from his press conference on Monday and what he was talking about coming into this week.
Talk a little bit more about what value these goals have to you guys and what the next one is.
Yeah, just understand what's in front of us that we have the ability to go accomplish. We've got so much in front of us. Again, having the ability to have a conference opener at our place in front of an incredible crowd and a great environment, that's going to be huge for us on Saturday. And that's something that is really, really important to have. A sold-out crowd and have the energy that we need. But again, we've got to take this thing one game at a time as we're looking at our goals ahead. There's a lot out there to go accomplish, but there's no way to do it if we don't do it one at a time.
You and some of the other assistant coaches talked in the offseason about how important it would be to get bigger and stronger, and especially in the trenches. How do you kind of assess how that's gone so far through 4 games? Yeah,
I think when you look at us in the defensive line, again, we're playing a bunch of guys, and we're going to continue to need that, and kind of piggybacks off of what I was talking about earlier, the fact that we're going to need a ton of depth in the interior and have the ability to go play a bunch of guys so we can go play free and fast with physicality. So we're nowhere near where we want to be. We have made great improvement, but our guys understand the urgency of how we got to go operate to be able to get better. And then on the offensive line, we've started 4 different units. I think we're close to being able to settle in, and talked a little bit about it after the game, but have a 3-man rotation at tackle, have a 3-man rotation at guard, and that'll help us.
You've had a long relationship with Coach Heupel at Tennessee. What's something from your time with him that you brought to your program?
Yeah, his consistency and how he leads every single day, and again, having the ability to be able to work for him for those 2 years. There's been a long-lasting relationship there, so able to see him in the moment, in the building every single day as a leader, as a first-time head coach. When we went to Orlando together, there's a ton of things that I learned in those moments, and obviously incredibly appreciative of that time that I got to spend with him.
Coach, now that you've been through the league as a head coach for last year, just what is your opinions of the league as a whole and seeing some of those same teams this time around?
Yeah, I mean, the league, it's pretty well documented of what our league stands for, the success our conference has had. It is a 1 week, one game at a time. You start trying to look at the big picture from an opponent standpoint, and you'll get lost in it. For us, man, it's about having the best Monday we've ever had, having the best Tuesday we've ever had to give ourselves a chance to go 1-0 on Saturday. It is that simple. That's the process for us, and that's what it's going to be as we get into league play.
Blake obviously wasn't happy with his performance on Saturday, missing the big shots. What did you guys see on film? He's been pretty consistent, hitting those big plays.
Yeah.
Just didn't hit them on Saturday. What'd you see when you look back on that? What was kind of your message to him?
And I love that Blake is as hard on himself as he is. Fundamentally, we weren't great on Saturday, and he's been really clean just from a body position standpoint. All the things that we talk about fundamentally in the pocket, that was something that hadn't shown up, and I think there's great awareness and urgency just to get back to doing exactly what he was doing. Again, we missed on a couple of those throws that had chances to create chunks and create separation earlier, and that's the stress. We can't waste a snap as we move forward.
All right, that was Jeff Lebby, and Lebby he's ready. I really believe he is ready. He and his team are ready for this. I don't know what's going to happen in this ball game. We'll discuss it a little further as we get throughout the show and kind of break down the matchup between the two teams. But this is a team that I feel like has a lot of confidence coming into this ball game, and they feel like on Saturday they're going to go out there, they're playing in front of a home crowd, and they're going to be ready for this opportunity. A lot of similarities between these two teams. I think Lebby inherited a worse situation with less resources than what Heupel inherited when he took over. But Heupel inherited a mess. If you think back at the Jeremy Pruitt thing, the situation that they had at Tennessee when Jeremy Pruitt was the head coach, Heupel inherited a mess, and he's built a consistent winner at Tennessee. But like I said, they have a lot more resources than what Jeff Lebby inherited, but the two offenses are very similar. The program is kind of climbing the way that they are, and Jeff Lebby kind of taking this thing to the next step. I think you're starting to see the similarities. We'll see if Jeff Lebby and company can have even more similarities and make that jump in year two like Heupel did. We're going to talk more about this matchup when we get back from the break. We got some sponsors to get to, but I'm excited to talk more about Mississippi State and Tennessee when we get back from the break. This is Talkin Dawgs with Robbie Faulk here on SuperTalk 100.9.
When you're a Yellow Jacket, school spirit isn't just for game day, it's every day. That's why the Citizens Bank created the School Stash debit card for Starkville-Oktibbeha schools. With every transaction, select credit instead of debit, and we'll donate 5 cents to the district. It's an easy way to show your pride and support local schools with every purchase. Stop by 201 Highway 12 and get your School Stash debit card today. The Citizens Bank, in your corner every day. Member FDIC.
A lot of land comes with a lot of work. The new Kubota MX Series has a lot to offer, including the versatility to mow, move hay bales, grade roads, and clear brush and snow. An optional spacious cab to keep you comfortable in any conditions. A front-end loader with excellent loader lift capacity and transmission options. Visit your local Kubota dealer today.
Visit H&R AgriPower, your local Kubota dealer at 841 South Frontage Road in Columbus. H&R AgriPower has the power to get you more.
Fork County Electric Power Association has spent more than 85 years working to improve the quality of life of all we touch. And that's why we created the Fork County Foundation. Thanks to the generosity of Fork County member owners, the foundation has awarded more than $2.5 million to organizations that support the communities we serve. If you have a 501c3 organization that helps improve the lives of Fork County members, visit forkcounty.org and see if the Fork County Foundation can help you.
Looking for quality and convenience? Matheson Hardware and Building Supply has you covered. We deliver lumber, roofing, doors, windows, and more straight to your job site. And check out our full line of Milwaukee battery-powered tools, plus plumbing, electrical, and Valspar paints for every project. And now we're your local source for guns, ammo, and so much more.
For over 100 years, Matheson Hardware has been built on a legacy of customer service you can trust. Go find them at 281 Scott Avenue in Matheson, Mississippi, or call them today at 662-263-4583.
Find a friend in the banking business at Bank Oklahoma and take that friend with you using Bank Oklahoma mobile banking. Manage your accounts, make deposits, payments, and transfers anywhere and anytime. Bank Oklahoma offers small town feel with big city convenience and the personalized attention you deserve. I'm Joy Faulkner at Bank Oklahoma. Better together, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Talkin Dawgs on SuperTalk 100.9.
Welcome back to Talkin Dawgs with Robbie Faulk here on SuperTalk 100.9 and SuperTalk.fm. Thank you guys for being a part of this broadcast yet again as we get set for another big week of Mississippi State and high school football here in the area. I want to, again, remind you about another one of our sponsors, Matheson Hardware over in Matheson, Mississippi, just right down the road from you in Starkville. It's about 18 miles if you get on the highway on 82, heading towards Winona, Memphis, that area. Stop in at Matheson Hardware. It is worth the drive, I promise you. This is a building, this is a business that goes back over 100 years, and it dates back to 1910. My family, the Ellis family in the Sherwood community, started a business that ended up moving into Matheson and becoming a staple of the community in Matheson. N.S. Ellis & Son, eventually Oswalt's Building Supply, and now it's Matheson Hardware, a beautiful building, a building that's been standing for well over 100 years and now renovated to become more modern and cleaner, and just a beautiful building if you walk in. And it's got everything that you need, whether it be plumbing, electrical, whatever you have. If you want to do the projects on Saturday that your wife has written down on a list, if you're trying to build a house for contractors, this is a great resource for you. They now have, obviously, the opportunity to have a delivery as well. So all the building supplies, paint, Valspar paint is in there. And so you got to go check them out today. Go see them Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. to 5 p.m., Saturday, 7 a.m. to 12 p.m. They are closed on Sundays, but you can go find them at 281 Scott Avenue in Matheson, Mississippi, right across from the post office is how I say it. And then you can go find them also if you want to email them at info@mathesonhardware.com. You can call them at 662-263-4583 and go look at that nice website over there at mathesonhardware.com. Appreciate you guys for being a part of Talkin Dawgs each and every week. All right, guys, so big game obviously on the way for Mississippi State. And you look at the matchup, it doesn't look favorable for Mississippi State on paper for a lot of people. If you look at the analytics, if you look at the SP+, the FPI, whatever, if you look at that stuff, it's not a favorable matchup for Mississippi State. Tennessee's a top 10 team in the analytics. This is an offense that through the first 4 games has scored at least 41 points every single game. They beat a good Syracuse team 45-26 in the first game of the season. Scored 72 on East Tennessee State. They had 41 on Georgia's defense. They scored 56 last week against UAB. But on the flip side of that, defense has given up at least 17 points against all those teams. They gave up 24 to UAB. They gave up 44 to Georgia. Syracuse scored 26. It's a defense that certainly it has some holes in it. The secondary has been banged up. They have 2 critical injuries there in the secondary from guys that were starting at cornerback. It's a defense that I think Mississippi State can have some success on. The key to this game to me when I'm looking at it is, can Mississippi State protect Blake Shapen? Because as good as teams have been throwing the ball against this defense, they have 15 sacks. They can get after the quarterback. The defensive line play has been pretty good from Tennessee. They've fought through a lot of injuries, but Banks over there at Tennessee has been as big a part of this build for Josh Heupel as the offense has been. And you look at their defenses, some of the players that they've produced over the years, it's been a really good defense. This year the numbers are not going to be great when you finish out the season, I don't think, because of those injuries, I believe. But the scheme, the players, they have guys that can really affect this ball game for Mississippi State. And for the Bulldogs to stay in this game, I think they're going to have to score a lot of points because I think Tennessee's going to score. I think that Tennessee is going to come out and try to establish the run against a Mississippi State run defense that has some susceptibilities. If you look at it to this point, they give up 137 yards rushing a game. That's not totally terrible. And crazily enough, through 4 games, only 1 touchdown scored on the ground against Mississippi State. So the defense unquestionably has been better. And I don't think that's something that can be argued. But I think at the end of the day, they are going to be tested in a big way on the ground. And that's something that Jeff Lebby said on Monday is they have got to be able to stop the run, at least limit what Tennessee does running the football. Because Tennessee, while they lost their best running back from last season and he has moved on to the next level, they've continued to run the ball at a high clip. This is a team that, in this Veer and Shoot offense, we talk about the big plays a lot in the passing game, and for good reason, because the big plays are there. There are a lot of big plays to be made in this offense, and it's made possible because of the threat of the run. At the end of the day, it's an offense that wants to be able to run the football. And so far, they've run it extremely well. Star Thomas has 42 carries for 272 yards. He has 4 touchdowns so far on the year. Deshaun Bishop, 38 carries, 263. Peyton Lewis, 32 carries, 157. They're averaging, their top 2 backs right now with Thomas and Bishop averaging 7 yards a rush. Lewis averaging 5 yards a rush. Every back that they put out there is averaging 5 yards a carry. And it hasn't been just one guy. They're going to share the load, and they're going to wear down a defense. And what that does is it frees up Joey Aguilar to hit the big plays. And Aguilar on the season to this point, he's completing 67% of his passes. He has 12 touchdowns. He has 1,124 yards. So I think that for Mississippi State to have success in this game, they've got to be able, on defense, to stop the run. And on offense, they've got to protect Blake Shapen. And if you give Blake Shapen time and you get some things going in the run game as well for yourself, then I think that you can do some big things in the passing game. But they're going to have to force turnovers on defense. They're going to have to get off the field on defense. You can't stay on the field and let that defense get worn down. Mississippi State's going to have to get that defense off the field, keep them fresh. They're going to have a lot of players playing defensively because what Josh Heupel's going to want to do is really wear them down, and that's what I thought he did last year. I thought State got off the field a good bit. They gave themselves a chance last year. They just couldn't score, and it's got to be different this year. The offense is going to have to be super sharp, and I didn't think that State came out super sharp against Northern Illinois. We haven't talked much about that game because I just think it's time to move on from that game for the most part. There's not a whole lot to say about it. 38-10, Mississippi State won big. But the first half, State came out and was just kind of rusty. Blake Shapen, probably one of his worst games, I would say probably his worst game this year, 12 of 20 for 160 and a touchdown. He wasn't terrible, but I thought he missed about 4 or 5 passes down the field. He echoed that post-game about what he could have done better in the game. And, the good news, like he said, was I didn't play my best game. We didn't play our best game, and we won 38-10. There's so much more that this team can do, and that's a totally different outlook from what we saw last year. Had Mississippi State played their best games last year in SEC play, they still were going to lose on most Saturdays. This team is built in a way that they can compete. And if this team plays its best game on Saturday, I truly believe that they'll beat Tennessee. But that is the key. They've got to come out on Saturday. They've got to play sharp. They can't start the game like they did against Northern Illinois and they went to the locker room 14-10. If they play like they did in the first half, they'll be down 2 or 3 touchdowns, I think, to Tennessee. They've got to play sharp. Now, on the flip side of that is you're playing your second straight week against a team that you're quite frankly better than, and you have that Tennessee game on the horizon. How much of that was Mississippi State playing down to its competition, looking ahead a little bit? Because at the end of the day, these are still young men. These are still human beings. They're not robots. They play this game in a way that they prepare hard. They come out and they do their thing during the week. But when you come out on the field and it's 100 degrees out there and the fans are starting to filter out because it's so hot, how much of that was a factor? The good thing is I thought the second half Mississippi State came out and played inspired football. That was good to see. And when they came out and played inspired football, it was total domination. They outscored Northern Illinois 24-0 in the second half. They covered the ball game, and everything was right with the world. But this week, they have got to come out from the jump with energy, playing hard, protecting the football, protecting their quarterback, and going out and executing at a high level. And if they're able to do that, I think by the end of the game, you might have another special moment like you did against Arizona State, and Mississippi State's sitting there at 5-0. But they've got to play great football on Saturday afternoon to have a chance to win this game. Big one coming your way, folks. The game, as we're recording this, is on the verge of being sold out. I don't remember the last time a game was sold out at Mississippi State, probably 2018 against Florida, but I think it's going to be a great atmosphere. I think it's going to be a great football game coming your way. All right, guys, we're going to go back to the break. When we get back, we will discuss some high school football. I was at Starkville High School last week for Starkville Louisville, always a great matchup in our area. I've got some things to talk about there, and we'll hear from John Carr and a Starkville player when we get back for some high school sports. I'm excited about that. All right, we're going to take a break. This is Talkin Dawgs with Robbie Faulk here in SuperTalk 100.9.
Bank Oklahoma is committed to the communities we serve. We offer the small town feel with big city convenience and give you the personalized attention you deserve. Come see me, Gene Childs, Community Bank President in Houston and Manatee. We have locations in Aberdeen, Bruce, Houston, Manatee, Oklahoma, and Tupelo. Bank Oklahoma, where we are better together. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Landowners, are you ready to turn your timber into real value? At Good Hope Land and Timber, we specialize in helping landowners like you make smart, sustainable decisions. Whether you're planting a final harvest, thinning a stand, development thinning, or managing your forest long-term, our experienced team is here to guide you every step of the way. We're trained in the Sustainable Forestry Initiative and follow best management practices to protect your land and maximize your return. Call me, Jake Moody, at 601-416-6266. Good Hope Land and Timber, locally trusted, landowner approved.
Hey, this is William Wells. When you drop your vehicle off with us, you can trust us with our ASC certified technician. We'll take care of everything you need. Brakes, struts, shocks, alignments, check engine light, tune-up, tire sensor, tires, everything. Stop by any of our 3 locations in Starkville, West Point, and Columbus, and let our team give you the championship service you deserve.
Cover more ground and get more savings on the fast, durable Kubota Sidekick. Gas-powered with a top speed of 40 miles per hour and outstanding acceleration and handling with cargo. All backed by a 2-year, 1,000-hour warranty. Visit your Kubota dealer and get the Kubota Sidekick for 0 down, 2.99% APR for up to 48 months and save up to $300. Now through September 30th. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Visit H&R AgriPower, your local Kubota dealer at 841 South Frontage Road in Columbus. H&R AgriPower has the power to get you more.
Hello, I'm Lee Burrell, proudly serving Oktibbeha County. The Citizens Bank has been serving our community for over 116 years, and I'm proud to be part of this vital community bank. With over 22 years of financial experience in commercial, mortgage, and consumer lending, I'm here to help with all your loan and deposit needs. Call me at 662-323-1420 or stop by my office located at 201 Highway 12 and say hello. I'm looking forward to meeting and talking with you soon. The Citizens Bank, www.thecitizensvilla.com, member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Talkin Dawgs with Robbie Faulk on SuperTalk 100.9.
Welcome back to Talkin Dawgs with Robbie Faulk here on SuperTalk 100.9, supertalk.fm, or wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you for joining me for yet another show here on Super Talk. I want to, again, thank Jess Brantley, Alpha Insurance over there in West Point, for everything he does for our community and for the show as well. 36 South 4th Street in West Point. You can find him or call him at 662-494-4142 for homeowners insurance, life insurance, car insurance, everything you need right there. Jess will have you covered, and his team will have you covered at the Jess Brantley Agency, Alpha Insurance. Start saving the day with Alpha. All right, guys, so this is my my weekly, I don't even have a name for it, the Starkville Daily Whip Around, I guess. We'll go with that. Maybe I'll think of something down the line. Starkville and Louisville last week. And I wasn't really sure what to expect in this game. I've seen Starkville a couple of times prior to this game. I had not seen Louisville yet, but I also cover Louisville for the Winston County Journal, and I talk to Tyrone Shorter every week, so I keep up with them very closely. And I knew that they were going to have physicality. Starkville, when met with physicality against West Point a couple of weeks ago, it didn't turn out too great. So while I picked Starkville in this game, I wasn't 100% confident that the Yellow Jackets would come out on top. I called this game on the radio in Louisville, and had a good call with my friend Marcus Kincaid over there. We had a great game. I thought Starkville really came out and set the tone. Opening possession, John Carr had his team march down the field. Kingston Johnson leads them to a touchdown on the opening possession. They get out to a 7-0 lead. Louisville drives right down the field, and then a turnover in the end zone and an interception. I thought that really kind of changed the trajectory of the game. Louisville was kind of fighting uphill from there. Louisville's defense got an interception on that following possession, but they never really were in the game after that. And I thought Starkville did a great job setting the tone offensively and defensively. The defense played really well in that game for the Jackets, probably the best game they've played. Well, Meridian probably was a better game, but this is a better opponent. For them to do that, to bring the physicality, I thought that was really impressive for the Jackets. They built a 29-7 lead in this game, eventually win it 36-16, and I thought, like I said, it was just a well-played game by the Jackets all the way around. They kind of got bottled up a little bit in the second half. I give Louisville a lot of credit for that, but at that point, they were playing such good defense, and they did a great job of building the lead that they were in good shape. They finished out this ball game actually, being outgained by Louisville. Louisville had 367 yards to 283, but they ran 22 more plays, and that was a big deal. 2 turnovers from the Jacket defense turned out to be huge. It took a touchdown away from Louisville the first time, and then the second one was a fumble from running back Zayden Jernigan that was returned for a touchdown. I thought the game plan against Zayden Jernigan was great. 29 carries for just 79 yards. He averaged just 3 yards a rush. This is a guy that I think is going to be the best running back in the state in a couple of years. Just a sophomore. Could be one of the best running backs in the country before it's all said and done. Really impressed with him. So big win for the Jackets. 36-16. They moved to 3-1 on the season. They got Brandon coming up this week. Big week ahead. Before we talk more, I want to go to an interview that I had with John Carr, the head coach of Starkville, and also junior linebacker Graham Hancock, a guy from Starkville Academy that transfers over to Starkville this year as a junior. He's been used as a running back. He's been used on special teams. John Carr against Meridian moved him to the star linebacker role, and he did an excellent job on Friday night, really kind of spying Zayden Jernigan a little bit. Had 4 tackles for loss, forced a fumble, had a sack in the game. An excellent game from Graham Hancock. So let's hear from John Carr. Let's hear from Graham Hancock, their thoughts on taking down Louisville in this ball game and coming out victorious. Coach John Carr here. Coach, this is a game where if you don't set the tone physically against them, they can play their game of football and it can go downhill fast. Your guys set the tone defensively, and that hadn't always been the case this year, and you've talked about that. What did you think of how y'all's defense came out and just kind of laid it on the line early and set the tone like they did?
Yeah, well, I thought they did a tremendous job. It was some momentum from last week. Our guys, like I told you before, they were embarrassed by the way they played at West Point. They took it to heart. They watched the film. They took some tough criticism from us, and they just vowed to get better, and they did last week, and then they put a good week together this week. And again, I hats off to that side of the ball defensively to block out the noise, because I'm sure they heard stuff after 2 weeks of all that good stuff. But I was proud of our guys, the effort, our intensity at practice, attention to detail in the first half, which got us a lead to where when we didn't play our best, it didn't kill us, because we had a lot of choppy stuff on offense. We had some penalties, run-throughs, all that kind of stuff, and luckily we made enough plays to kind of get some momentum, and our defense got them off the field enough to where we got a lead and could run the football and manage the game.
What did you think about just the importance of the quick start that y'all had? You get out to 29-8 lead, and you really put them in a hole, and you put all the pressure on them. Yeah, that was the key. We felt like if we could stop number 8 and 5 with their guys, and if we could stop Jernigan from getting going, then we could play our style of ball and make them play from behind. So for us to do that, get the turnovers, do those kind of things, I thought we played exceptional in the kicking game as well. And so when you put all of it together, it just it's fun to see our guys grow, because again, we are nowhere near where we want to be, but we are made strides each week, and really glad that our guys have the last 2 weeks taken tough coaching, hard stuff, and they're now they're getting to see the benefits of it. But the thing is, we got a schedule that gets no easier, and we've got to lick our finger, turn the page, and move to the next one. And it's a big one. Team that played for the state championship last year in Brandon, on the road, tough environment. I know you haven't really looked that far into that, but what are you expecting in that game? Well, Coach Pogue in his first year, he's a defensive guy. They've been playing really good defense. They've played tough schedule. They got a long road trip tonight. I'm sure they'll be excited about being home next week. So again, we've got to get on the road, travel, go into an environment, and hopefully our guys are looking forward to it, and we're going to enjoy this one for tonight, and then we'll start studying them next week. With Graham Hancock here, Graham, You've been playing a lot of different positions out there. Coach moved you over the defense, and you looked like a natural out there tonight. You were in position, going up against one of the best running backs in the country. What's it been like kind of moving around like that? And, going from Starkville Academy to 7A football in the state, it just seems like you're kind of fitting in right now. What's that been like so far?
Well, it's been a good transition. I just want to come over here and do what's best for the team. So they needed me on defense, so I wanted to do whatever's best for the team, and we have a brotherhood on defense, and we did good tonight. Yes, sir.
Looked like you took to heart the opportunity to go out there and defend one of those great running backs in Zayden Jernigan. How'd you feel like y'all executed the game plan of keeping him from those big plays? I know he had the big play right before the half, but what did you think about what y'all were able to do against him?
Yes, sir. Well, that was our main game plan for the week, and we knew we had to stop him to win the game, and we did that. We made it our goal, and we succeeded.
How has that process changed for y'all on defense, over the last couple of weeks, coming out with a point to prove and then proving it, against two pretty good football teams?
Well, we had a wake-up call against West Point, and then we just all rallied in. We focused and locked in. We executed.
Another big challenge next week against Brandon. What are you looking forward to in that game?
Playing on the biggest stage in Mississippi. Ready to get after it. Ready to go head-to-head with Brandon.
All right, so that was John Carr, head coach at Starkville, and Graham Hancock. Been really impressed with these players from Starkville, talking to them. Kingston Johnson, Graham Hancock, these guys been so impressive to talk to, and they've been impressive on the field as well. Starkville had that tough ball game, obviously, against West Point, where they dropped just flat out dominated. In the second game of the season, they dropped the game 48-15. But last 2 weeks, I thought the focus has been really good. 44-6 over Meridian, 36-16 over Louisville. Just a really impressive job these last 2 weeks bouncing back. And John Carr told me a lot of that is the fact that these players were just really embarrassed. After that West Point game, you don't lose to West Point like that if you're Starkville. And West Point just came out and physically dominated them in every way. They had the 57-54 win against Oak Grove on an exciting night, and they came out and West Point just absolutely dominated them. So this week now you got Brandon, and that's Lance Pogue, former Eupora coach, former South Panola coach. He's been at Columbia, has been at Jackson Academy, Heritage. He's now at Brandon, and Brandon off to a tough start this year. But this is another opportunity to really tune up for Starkville. This is a team that last year was playing for a state championship. You got the schedule coming up. Germantown, who's significantly better. Clinton, who's going to be out for blood with John Carr. You have Murrah, which should be a manageable game for Starkville, and then you close out with Madison Central and Oxford. These next few weeks are massive for Starkville, trying to build momentum to go into the playoffs, and we'll see if they're able to do that. Starkville Academy got a big win this past week as well. East Webster, Eupora, Choctaw County. We had wins in our entire area, so it was a huge week, and now 1 week remaining before you get into district play. This week is absolutely massive for everybody, so good luck to our teams this week. Should be a fun one. All right, guys, we're going to take one more commercial break. When we get back, we will close this sucker out. It's been another great show. Stay tuned. I don't want you guys to leave just yet. I appreciate you. Stay in there with me. Just a few more minutes. Stay in the foxhole with me. Be right back. This is Talkin Dawgs with Robbie Faulk here on SuperTalk 100.9.
A lot of land comes with a lot of work. The new Kubota MX Series has a lot to offer, including the versatility to mow, move hay bales, grade roads, and clear brush and snow. An optional spacious cab to keep you comfortable in any conditions. A front-end loader with excellent loader lift capacity and transmission options. Visit your local Kubota dealer today.
Visit H&R AgriPower, your local Kubota dealer at 841 South Frontage Road in Columbus. H&R AgriPower has the power to get you more.
Power up your convenience with the 4-County mobile app. Managing your electric account has never been easier. With our free mobile app, you can view your bill, balance, and account details, report outages, track restoration progress, and make secure payments online. Stay informed by scheduling alerts and reminders for important account updates. Whether you're at home or on the go, the 4-County app puts control in your hands. Download the app today and experience the power of convenience.
Hey, this is William Wells. When you drop your vehicle off with us, you can trust us with our ASC certified technician. We'll take care of everything you need. Brakes, struts, shocks, alignments, check engine light, tune-up, tire sensor, tires, everything. Stop by any of our 3 locations in Starkville, West Point, and Columbus, and let our team give you the championship service you deserve.
Looking to get the most out of your land? Trust the experts at Good Hope Land and Timber, your full-service land and timber company with years of experience in forestry and land management. From land and timber purchasing, timber management, plantation thinning, and development harvesting, our team handles it all, safely, efficiently, and sustainably. Our experienced logging force is trained to the highest standards under the Sustainable Forestry Initiative and best management practices. Call me, Jake Moody, at 601-416-6266. Good Hope Land and Timber, locally trusted, landowner approved.
Find a friend in the banking business at Bank Oklahoma. A friend who's there when you open your first account, when you buy that first car, and when you find the home you've been working for. At Bank Oklahoma, you'll find local people with local answers, ready to serve you with the customer care you deserve. Hi, I'm Tim Alford, Community Bank President, Bank Oklahoma in Aberdeen. Come see me or call me at 662-369-2772. Bank Oklahoma, your friend in the banking business, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Talkin Dawgs with Robbie Faulk on SuperTalk 100.9.
Welcome back to Talkin Dawgs with Robbie Faulk here on SuperTalk 100.9, supertalk.fm. We have had another great show for you guys here on Talkin Dawgs, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate you guys for tuning in each and every week. The numbers have been really good. The feedback's been great from you guys. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm enjoying it more than anybody. This has been a dream come true for me to have a radio show where I get to release all my thoughts, maybe frustrations from time to time. So far, not a whole lot of frustrations to speak on. Mississippi State is 4-0. They have a chance to go to 5-0. 4-0 for the first time since 2014. And how about only 7 teams prior to this in Mississippi State history have been able to go 4-0? That's an impressive number. That's something that you should not take for granted if you're a Mississippi State fan, because there's been a lot of tough seasons through the years. You guys witnessed a tough season last year, 2-10. Every single win from here on out makes this season so much better than what we all witnessed last year. So you guys enjoy every single one of them. I wanted, before we go to talk about the great D.D. Lewis, a man that we lost last week, an all-time great at Mississippi State. He's already in the Ring of Honor at Mississippi State, one of the great legends, top 10 player in my mind, maybe top 5 player in Mississippi State history. You look at the career he had with the Dallas Cowboys in the NFL, a guy that was playing, deep into his life, was still playing football at a very high level. And, I go back to, we talked about Matheson Hardware and being a part of the show and the legacy left over there at Matheson Hardware over the years. My papaw working in that store as a young kid and end up running the business and making it a successful business and a big part of the community. My grandfather, my papaw, Stanley, was a huge Mississippi State fan and a huge Dallas Cowboys fan. And he became a Dallas Cowboys fan because of D.D. Lewis. He watched D.D. Lewis here at Mississippi State and ended up becoming a huge fan of his over the years, and that ended up translating into him becoming a Dallas Cowboys fan. His 3 girls became Dallas Cowboys fans, and that was D.D. Lewis. And what a legacy he left, not only as a player, but also as a man. And I never had the pleasure of meeting D.D., but I know a lot of people that did know him closely, and he was one of the great men, too. He was a great linebacker, a great defensive player, but he was one of the great men as well, and a great Bulldog. So thoughts with his family. I know his loved ones, his family, held him dear to their hearts, and my thoughts are with them this week as they continue to mourn the loss of such a great man. So wishing all of them the best for sure. All right, guys, so big game this weekend for Mississippi State. It is a white out, so wear your white, preferably a white interlocking. If you have that interlocking logo, that beautiful interlocking logo on your chest, that'll help Mississippi State win this ball game, I can assure you. They will be wearing the white interlocking lids. Super excited to see that logo back on the field on Saturday. Hopefully we're closer and closer to making that the permanent Mississippi State football logo, because there is no doubt that logo is Mississippi State football. Most importantly, though, Mississippi State needs this game. I don't think it's a must-win for the Bulldogs, but I think it could go a long way in taking this program to the next level. And on Sunday, if that win comes Mississippi State's way, most of college football will be talking about Mississippi State and Jeff Lebby and the direction of this program. You have some huge games ahead. You got Texas A&M. You got Texas. You got Georgia. 2 of those games at home in Texas and Georgia. You got to go on the road to Florida. You got to go play at Missouri on the road, Arkansas, Florida. I mean, these are tough games coming Mississippi State's way. Every win is vital. This could go a long way in helping Mississippi State take that next step under Jeff Lebby. We'll see if it comes to fruition. I expect a rocking environment. I think the crowd's going to be incredible. We'll see if Mississippi State can put that into action as well. All right, guys, thank you for tuning in. Thank you to Alpha Insurance, Jeff Brantley, and the Matheson Hardware for sponsoring the show. Go check them out today. I'll see you Saturday at Davis Wade. Looking forward to a great ball game between Mississippi State and Tennessee. This has been Talkin Dawgs. This has been Robbie Faulk, and I will catch you down the road.
You've been listening to Talkin Dawgs with Robbie Faulk.
Mississippi State with a victory here.
Listen each Wednesday at 9 a.m. on SuperTalk 100.9.
Don't you know I'm gonna make it with my friends? I promised myself I'd get by. Said I'm gonna try it with them too hard.
A SuperTalk Mississippi media production.